We are live. I am just waiting and giving persons a chance to join in. Share this live. As you join, share this live because I don't think a lot of persons know that I'm going live or know what this live is about. So share the live if you can. Share it with your friends. Share it with anybody that you know would be interested. Just share the live, guys. I know a lot of persons don't know about this new thing that I'm doing, this new monthly thing. It will be, let me just start off by saying thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the love, and thank you guys for always, following. And I know that I have not been delivering as I used to, or delivering in the capacity that I once was. However, I'm doing it in the way that I'm able to as at this moment. And so that's why I will be having this monthly Q&A live. Hey, hi guys, I see the waves. Hey guys, I will have this monthly Q&A live to ensure that I deliver as best as I can. I'll be doing these monthly lives, so you come with your questions as it relates to immigrating to Canada through the school routes, and I will be having those discussion talks with you based on the questions that you asked. Okay, so the first question for the night is it easy to get a child into school? It is. It is. Once you have your proper documentation, it is. What I realize is that some schools require different things, even though it is under the one umbrella of a province. So, for example, when I was in London, right, the requirements of the school in London was different from like a Toronto school. And then, of course, it changes or it alters by province. But the main thing that you should have for all schools to get your child in is one, their passports, because they need an ID of them, the foreign passports. That's one. Two, the status of the child. So you are going to show that the child is on a visitor's record, which you would have already applied for after landing here in Canada. Two, the visitor's record states that the child is able to go to school with the status of a parent. So the school will see that. So because of that, they now require the parent status. So whether you're here for school, if you finish school and you're on a work permit, you show the work permit. That's three. The schools normally give you a application form that you fill out with like personal details, emergency contact information, things like that. Let me see if I'm missing anything else. Okay, so for me, when my daughter was going to the school in London, they asked for a proof of enrollment. So some schools do that. They want to ensure that if you say you're a student, show me you're a student. So I had to submit like my class schedule, my timetable. They went to the extreme to give me this form to sign up that they can call my school at any time at the beginning of each semester to know if I am still enrolled, because as long as I'm enrolled, meaning my money paid, then my child can go to school. I find that in Montreal, that was different. So I didn't have to, well, then again, I'm finished with school, so I wouldn't need to prove that I'm in school, right? But for Montreal, all they asked for was the passport. I filled out the application form, her status, and that's it. It was when I got home, the principal called me and said, hey, I just want to know, are you on a work permit or a study permit? Because it says here that she can go to school based on that. So I was like, okay. Just finished school, waiting on my postgrad work permit. But yeah, postgrad work permit. She's like, okay, thank you, bye. That's it. So it is fairly easy. And I want to tell you, the moment that so if you do this like today, you'd find that they'll tell you, okay, it's okay, like to send her or him, your child, to school tomorrow, right? It's that easy. You don't have to wait. And again, it all depends on well, the province, because in Ontario, depending if your child is going to like a, what you call them, school, private school, obviously you're going to pay tuition, right? But for the public schools, you don't pay tuition, and everything is supplied to them. So they have their book and everything at the school, pencil, everything. Like, just pack them up with them lunch, send them to school. In Montreal, you have to pay school fee one. You have to pay this not book list, but a supplies list. So like the folders, the markers, the pencils, the crayon, the rubber, everything you have to buy and take it with them. Thank you, really appreciate this live. When you apply for your study permit, did you apply for your husband and your daughter to come along with you? Same. Good question. So when I applied for my study permit back in 2019 July, I applied alone. So I sent in my application and I stated that my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, he wasn't my husband then, I stated that I would be going to study and he will be back in Jamaica, and my daughter, they'll be in Jamaica. So that's how I had applied. I mean, you have persons who applied as a unit, as a family, but I think you have to show too much more money for that. You have to show some other stronger ties, because really and truly, a strong tie is your child and your partner. That's really strong, you know, separate and apart from your job and house and land and whatever, because Canada is big on family, so they don't like when families split, right? But if you're gonna apply with your family, just take into consideration that you have to show way more. And when I say way more, an additional 5 for your spouse and an additional 3 per child. 5,000, 3,000. And with all inflation going right now, I wouldn't even benchmark those numbers, I'm telling you. So yeah, it is a risk, but I can say this though. What feel? After me feel. Can't be unfeel. That's all I can say, because I've seen people apply with family who don't even have half, or who have the exact amount of money or below, and they get through. So just bear those things in mind. From the same person, so she says, at the moment I'm doing my application for school and I'm unable to get any references for school. Would 2 employers or supervisors work? Yeah, sure. So could you please comment and let me know, because let me know what the application for school, the references. Normally I know for references, it should be somebody that you have worked with, somebody who was like superior to you, that can speak about you, your character. So yeah, supervisors, employers should work, because they can speak on that. So yeah, that should work. How different is Canada education for children as compared to the Caribbean education? This is a good question, and I just did a vlog on it. I just posted the vlog on it since last week. So when you're finished, you can catch that that vlog on my channel, as told by Amanda. But just to answer for those who are here, it is very different. And when I say different, I mean that the curriculum in the Caribbean is way ahead, better to me in my opinion. I find that in the Caribbean, you'd have your children knowing like their timetable. So things that they would learn in grade 1, they're just learning here in like probably grade 2 or grade 3. And the extent to which we learn it in grade 1, they don't learn it to that extent. And I find that they don't really stretch or pull their mind or their brains here. For the elementary, I don't know about the high school part, but for the elementary. So I find that. So, for example, since I've been here with Kali, I've always invested in additional books for her. And those additional books, them stretch her brain more than what she's learning at school. So yeah, it is very different. My advice is, when you come here with your kids, invest in their education. Don't expect them to don't have the expectations that they will get it all at school, because the curriculum is different. Very, very different. So invest in their education. What I do, I go on Amazon and I type in the grade level that they're in. And trust me, these Amazon books are really good. I'm going to show you a book that I recently got for her. Thank you. See, she was doing it today. So, Brain Quest workbook, grade 4, because she's in grade 4, right? So this book, I wonder if I should put it on my Amazon storefront. I got it from Amazon. It's a thick book. It has spelling and vocabulary, language arts, reading and writing, math skills, word problem, addition, multiplication, subtraction, fractions, decimals, geometry, probability, social studies, and science. Now, every evening that she comes home from school, she has, like, I split it up, the subjects. So like she have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a page. It's just a page of each. And I teach her. And when I talked to her, she said to me, Mom, I'm not even doing these things at school. And this is a grade 4 level. Like, just yesterday, I taught Kali for the first time to add fractions. She's not doing that at school. They're not adding fractions at school. And this is adding fractions with the same, denominator. They're not doing that. Just last week, I taught her long division. She was clueless. She didn't know what long division was. Not even short division. Right? So I find that you have to invest in their education. Fast forward to now, my baby can do long division and she knows how to add fractions with same denominator. So I will be working with her. Yes, so the more members of the family, the price increases. I'm just reading the messages that I might have missed out. I will check out the vlog. That's okay. It depends on what the school requires, especially if it's a master's program where they specifically state that 1 or sometimes 2 referrals should be academic. So she needs to clarify, same with the school. Okay, thank you so much for that. Yeah, that makes sense. So to the person that asked about using their supervisor as their referral, this is a very valid point. It depends on the school. So yes, so call the school, email the school, find out if it has to be an academic referral, and if it has to be, then yes. High school, go back to your old high school and get to teacher, a principal, a vice principal, somebody, right? Same here in America. Yeah, I heard supplemental educational supplies always good, for sure. Thank you for answering. No problem. No problem, Rena. If I apply for a study permit and my spouse gets a 2-year open work permit, after his 2-year open work permit expires, does he have another option to extend the work permit? What will he have to do? Great question. So when his work permit expires, his work permit will expire at the same time your work permit expires, your study permit expires. Now after that, before your study permit expire, you have to submit. No, wrong. When you're finished with school. So when you're finished with school, you have to apply for your postgraduate work permits, right? When you apply for your postgraduate work permits, you can't apply for your husband's or your spouse's or your girlfriend, let me use spouse, work permits unless you are in a NOC job, which is now called Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. What you would have to apply for is a visitor's record, and let me explain why. You're finished with school now and you apply for your postgraduate work permit. You don't have your NOC job as yet, but you need to apply before y'all papers get expired. You're going to apply for a visitor's record so that when his papers is expired, his work permit is expired, he's still within status in the country. He has a visitor's record. He won't be able to work though, but he has status in the country. As soon as you get that NOC job, then you put in his papers for work permits, and then that's how he will get as long as your postgraduate work permit is. If you don't do this and you put in papers for a work permit and not having your NOC job, he's gonna get denied. By the time you get a response, he's now out of status in the country. And you know what that means, right? So you don't want to fall into that trap. If you have a NOC job as soon as you're finished school, sure, no problem. Just remember, it's now 3 pay stubs that you have to show along with the job letter. So the job letter should have like the duties and the skills that you're doing to prove that it's a NOC job. But then also you have to submit 3 pay stubs now. So you have to wait a little. So hopefully I answered that. How you so pretty, been watching your channel forever. A filter, hello, it's filter. But thank you. This is a filter right now to smooth out the girl face, right? Okay. Hey, same new follower from Khalees Travels. Hi, Alex. Loved your vibe on the live. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm going sometimes. Hey, Manda Panda. I don't have a question. I'm just here for the support. Thank you, Patty LaBelle. Thank you. How much money did you have to show to get a visa? And I'm assuming you mean a student visa. So for student visa, the amount of money you show. Now, I'm going to give you guys new tips because COVID has passed. Inflation is happening right now. So I'm going to give you guys some new tips. Hey, Mickey, thank you. So you have to show your tuition for the year. So whatever your tuition is for the year, you have that to show. And you have, cost of living expenses for the year. Now, they normally had put living expenses to be $10,000. After COVID and the inflation, do not just add 10,000. No. So, for example, for a province like Ontario, I would say 15. I would say 15,000 because food gone up, clothes gone up, everything gone up, travel expenses gone up. Hello, did you see Air Canada talking about the second bag is it $300 and the third bag for $500, something like that? So you have to take those things into consideration because the living expense that they're expecting you to show is your travel fee. How you gonna get here? When you're here, how you gonna buy food? How you gonna take the bus? How you gonna transport? And everything raised. So $200. Okay, I stand corrected. So $200 for the second pizza bag, right? So you have to calculate all of that into it. So your school fee for the year, and depending on the province that you're in, do not use the $10,000. Add a little thing to it, and that's what you would show for your visa. Jamrock says you need to budget with a contingency plan in place for sure, because any game can play, anything can happen. What made you choose Ontario for study? To be honest, I've said this already and I'll say it again. During my time, I didn't do a lot of research. I just knew that I knew somebody who was in London, Ontario, and I was just working with them and heard that Fanshawe is a good school and teach well. everything. This is what you can do. This is what you're supposed to do. And I just did that and came here, honestly. So it was somebody that I know. I never do no research. What does it mean when IRCC requests additional proof of funds and pay stub for a spousal open work permit? Nikki, is this application inside? Well, this doesn't sound like inside of Canada. This has to be outside of Canada. It just simply means that whatever funds was shown, it's not enough. It simply means that they're probably questioning the job letter. So they would like to see proof of same. Your pay stub of everything, show how much you're working. So it means that you're still in the running. And they want to give you the chance to approve you or your spouse, right? So just get those to them and they will determine then if you can get it. But it just means that whatever you submitted, it's okay. They could have denied you, but they're giving you a chance to bring in these documents. So yeah. And they normally give you like about 30 days. I don't know if they did that with you, but they did that one time with me. You have 30 days to submit or else. So Shai says, hope all is well. All is going well with you and Kali. Yes, we are blessed. Thank God. Guys, I can't tell you, God is so good. Can spousal open work permit holders travel on their permit? This person doesn't have a visitor's visa. No, you can't travel on a permit. You have to travel on a visa. You're talking, didn't get a work visa? You can't travel on a permit, guys. You have to travel on a visa. And each time the problem is not to leave the country, it's to get back in. So you have to be careful with that too. Because each time you enter the country, it's like you're changing your status. So if you are entering the country on your work visa, then you're still a work permit holder when you get here. If you're entering using your visitor's visa, you kind of just change it. Not kind of, you just change your status. So take that into consideration as well. Hopefully I answered that. Let me know. Okay, Alex, as a student, are you, Amanda, able to work as well? And did it take long to get a job? So as a student, you're allowed to work. So in my time, you guys are the lucky ones, In my time, sound old. We were only able to work 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week. And we had to wait until we had like breaks to do like 40 hours. Now with my program, we never have no break. Right through. Just 2 little weeks of break and that's it. For me, in my time, it took me a while to get a job because I came in the middle of a pandemic. People were getting laid off. Businesses were downsizing. So it was hard for me. But based on person's experiences that I'm seeing now, compared to then, it's not hard to get a job as a student. You can get it at retail stores. You can get it at the fast food chains. Can get it at Amazon. It's not hard. Why did you choose the study route and not the nomination route? Good question. Again, I looked at the nomination route, and at the time, I really didn't know, guys, because at the time, I wasn't employed. I was working within a family business, a family-owned business. But I never knew, because the business certified and everything, so I didn't know that I could use that or not. I never researched it to know if I can use it or not. I just know that, okay, I have my degree, but then I don't have that strong working for 10 years or 8 years kind of thing. So I just decided to go to school route. I didn't put much thought into the FSW, honestly. I didn't. Okay, before I answer the question bubble, I see I missed out some questions here. Let me see. So let me read these tips. Schools that offer a co-op, always a good option for those looking to study in Canada. That's true. Boy, I can't say same for me now, because I had co-op, but I didn't get to do it because of COVID. So, but it's good because you get to network, and when you're done with school, ding ding ding, that's your not job right there. They'll always call you back once you're a good worker. Yeah, I think Springmatic, I think that's what she meant, because I was like, permit, they can't travel on the permit, but yeah, on the visa you can. But the thing is too, Springmatic, I want you to understand too, when, for example, like my husband, he came to Canada as a visa. He traveled on his visitor's visa. As a visitor, he traveled on his visitor's visa, right? So when he came here, that's when I changed his status to a worker or work permit holder. So he has the work permit, but he doesn't have a work visa. So if he leaves the country, come back in, he's coming in as a visitor, status change, right? So that's why I answered the way I did. You need to meet the requirements to enter the country if you leave. 20 hours a week, that rough. Yeah, man, it's rough. And it's good that they're now allowing the full hours. Last I read, I don't know if it has changed, is until December 2023. But kudos, I'm happy for you guys. Very happy, because the 20-hour week, may I tell you the truth, like, and then what I find too, even though it was 20 hours a week, sometimes we couldn't even work for the week due to the workload, right? But I was online, so I guess check job agencies. But I think, as I was about to say that, so thank you, Racine. Racine said they didn't change it for everyone. The unlimited hours of work are only for persons who are already students or have applied for study permit by sometime in November month. I was about to say, but I think we should read the fine print to that, because it kind of sounds so good to be true. So Racine says that it's not for everybody. So it's just for persons who are already students or applied for their study permits before November. That is that. We didn't know this at all. So see that? So yeah, I think I missed a question here. I'm just trying to check it and then go back to the question bubble. So if I have a not job, will my spouse be able to apply for an open work permit without a LMIA? Also, what tier job will I have to have? Okay, yes, if you have a not job, your spouse can get his open work permit. So it's not 0AB, but they now change it to tier. So it's tier 1, 2, and 3. All right, so the 0 is 1, the A is 2, and the B is 3. And they added 60 new jobs to tier 3, I think, like bus driver, remember, from the 16. But yeah, they added some new stuff there. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into, it's 7:40 already. Oh my god, and I'm just gonna be here for an hour. Wow, it's 7:40. Okay. I am going to jump into the question bubble. Okay, so you guys are just discussing here, because I had a student permit and use a visitor's visa when I leave and come back before landed. They're trying to help the current students. They tend to put policies in place for those who are in Canada already. We would up on the outside have to struggle. We're seeing. Why are you gonna look at it like that? Like, listen. listen, I'm really happy that they're even trying to help international students, because to be honest, we always feel left out. Like everything that they implement was always for like their permanent residents, their citizens. Like it's like we didn't count, and we used to look at it like we contribute so much to the GDP. Not just schooling, but we're here, so we buy food, we pay taxes, so it's actually good that they have started to look at international students in that light. So let's see. All right, let me jump into the question bubble. Which city do you prefer, Toronto or Montreal? So I was not in Toronto, so I can't speak on Toronto. I was in London. Not lie. London do me bad. I ain't gonna lie. London really, I had a bad experience, and I think it's due to the pandemic. Montreal is good too. However, without bias, because I really love Montreal, right? Without bias, I would prefer London. Shocking, right? I would prefer London because I realized that it was due to the pandemic, and everything is opening now and things are looking up and looking better. I prefer London. And I say that because of job prospects, job aspects. In Montreal, it is very hard. Let me just take the opportunity to say this right now. It is very hard for like newcomers like myself to get a job because of the whole francophone, anglophone. The premier has stated that, or passed a bill that says that every single person that will be employed has to have a knowledge of French. They have to speak French. And so every single job ads that you see will be that must speak French. So it is very hard. So it's not like the job is not in Montreal, but it's the requirement. It's the mandatory French requirement. So that part. But yeah. Good question. That is a good question. Is it difficult living in Montreal as an English speaking person? To be honest, I really don't even know how to answer that question, because if you watch the vlogs, me not gone away, right? I'm just home, taking leave to school, and back home. So I don't really get to come into dialogue with anybody really. But what was challenging, or what is challenging for me, is that when you're going to the supermarket, it kind of take me a longer time, because the stuff are in French and the English is there if you turn the box or turn the item. So sometimes I like to look at stuff and say, oh, salt in that not have no salt, or this a less sodium or whatever, and but I find that I stay a longer time trying to figure out what is in this, what is this, so that part is challenging for me. Another thing that is challenging for me, when I do go places, the signs and stuff will be in French, and I have the Google Translate on my phone, and I always have to pop it out and see what it's trying to say. So it's not difficult because we have the technology to use the Google Translate, but and you slowly learn too. Because when you see these stuff like often, you would have learned, but because me not gonna win, so it's always new to me when we do Gar Road, right? It's always new to me. But that's a good question as well. Okay, let me read some comments here before I go back in the question bubble. Is it true that only the primary applicants can apply for PR? In applying for your PR, always use the applicant that will give the most points. But no, that's not true. That's not true. So for example, let's say you are the primary applicant, meaning you came for school and you came with your spouse. And let's say your spouse has a child, a young child. Let's say your spouse have a sibling who lives here. Those are extra points. So you could put your spouse as the primary applicant and you for the secondary. Spring Matic. I'm glad I got the PR this June. Now I can go college because I couldn't afford the international fee. Congratulations again. Well, I never know, but congratulations again on your PR. And yes, I can finally go to college. Trust me, the international school fee, it beats, you know? It beats. But congratulations to you. If you can't afford to pay for school, you have to struggle. You know, I can't bother with the rest of you over here. Great platform, Amanda. You're welcome. Hi, you're late. Oh no. Geez, I was about to start looking at schools and jobs in Quebec. Guys, you know me real. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And you know I'm going to tell you as it is. I love you guys. Do not. If you know French, yes. But the good thing is, though, if you're finished with school and you're thinking to go to Montreal, I would say no. If you can speak French, yes. If you're coming here for school, like you're coming to Canada for school and you're thinking about Quebec, there are English colleges in Quebec and they have French courses that is mandatory for you to do. So by the time you finish school in Montreal, you would have had on your transcript the French. And so your transition will be better. You'd know French. And when you are to get your PR, you have to be selected, right? And in order to be selected, you have to show that you have French knowledge. So you're good to go there, right? It's not hard to read. Okay, so I've done Spanish in high school, and I've done French at UTech, at university in Jamaica. I prefer Spanish. It's easier to understand and easier to grasp. French, some words are similar in Spanish, but it's more challenging. It's more challenging, but it's not bad. It's not bad. No, Mickey, I haven't. Yes, and I heard that too for like Ottawa, like the government jobs, they have to be bilingual in Ottawa. I've heard that. Hey, Atty. Hey, Natalia. How you doing? Just started Duolingo. What was your field of study? So my field of study, hospitality and tourism operations management. So basically managing the tourism industry. So hotel managers, supervisor, restaurants, anything that has to do with hospitality. Natty in the building. Yep. BC is a very good province if you have money. Yes, BC is expensive. BC is expensive. Thank you for your honesty. No problem. That's what I always say to you guys, like, use me as the guinea pig then. Because a lot of people, they're so scared to come out and talk. I don't know why. But use me as a guinea pig. I vlog my experiences as well on the internet. So if something went bad, I'll say it went bad. If something goes good, I'll say it go good. So can know what to do and what not, or have an idea. And say, okay, Amanda did it this way, it never worked out. Let me do it this way. Or because she went through it, me know say, all right, this can work. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yes, I did. At one point, my husband and I said we would have moved to Alberta. And that's because of, one, the housing markets, very affordable. They only pay 5% sales tax. It's not like other provinces will have GST and HST and QST and all kind of taxes. Just 5%. We never knew if we were gonna do like the cold weather. But we considered Alberta. Good patois. Eventually the goal is to work and let your money start working for you. So that's how we truly gonna enjoy Canada. You're right. So let me hop back into the bubble. Oh my god, we have 9 minutes because I'm only here for an hour every month. So stay tuned every month. Come in, let your friends know. Let me see how quickly I can wrap up these questions that I have here. What's your thoughts on the protest regarding the fee gap between domestic and international students? Wow, I didn't even, oh my god, I live under a rock. I didn't know there was a protest. Wow. I'm glad you asked that question. So this is my opinion. And I've been saying it ever since I got here. I don't understand. I understand, but I don't understand. So I understand from a business perspective. But oh God, man. So I understand that the country sees us as a way to make money. Not just the school, the country. Meaning, people want a better life. And immigration is in high demand. So why not make some money from it, right? Think about it from a business perspective. And so I understand that concept that you're going to try to make a food where you can make a food. However, this is my opinion. Because at one point I asked that question. Why is it that it's the same schooling, but why is it that as an international student, we have to pay so far much? Like, come on. We have domestic students paying, depending on the program, $500, $750, depending on the program for the semester. Oh my God! Why international students are like $7, $8, $9, $10, $12,000 per semester? That is a huge gap, right? So I understand it from a business perspective. So me did I say, boy, $2,000 per semester then, cause $500, hello, like are $3,000 then. But then, and listen, and then you have so many people come in. Anyway, I asked the question to a lecturer, and the lecturer said to me that they think it's because domestic students pay taxes, so that it simply means, or it's okay then, that their education is subsidized and not ours. I said, okay. Can me like debate, you know? I said, okay. So me going to rebuttal now. So I'm going to say, okay, so are you then saying that international students don't pay taxes? Because I'm pretty sure that we do too. When we go to Walmart, we don't get tax-free like the indigenous people here. We have to pay taxes. When we buy clothes, we have to pay taxes. When we work, they draw the taxes. So when you say that their education is subsidized, what are you saying here? The lecturer look at me and say, I have a very good point, and now they don't even know why our education is not subsidized. So I've yet to figure out that answer. I didn't know there's a protest. I'm now very interested and intrigued. I'm really going to Google this, and I want to follow it up. Come on back my money. I don't know what them do. Them a protest for we where the school already too. I want back my money. Oh my god. But I didn't know that. Let me read some comments. I didn't know there was a protest. I'm gonna Google. Yeah, I need to Google. I saw it on TikTok that students were protesting. Wow. Send me the link, please, Mickey. Yeah, I understand from a business perspective for real, but them terrible, man. Right, Natalia? The 5K premium alone is terrible. Listen to me. And Natalia, you're so right. Like, the business perspective, I get it. I get it. I get it. But me think it too much, man. It too much. It's the subsidies that make tuition cheaper for domestic students. International students are not entitled to receive same. Right, so that's what the lecturer was saying to me because they pay tax, right? So we're tax free, I guess. They're saying you're leaving your homeland to take space in a Canadian college, so you have to pay more because you're taking potential space for locals. And then look at it this way now. We're taking potential space for locals, true. We're leaving our homeland, yes. But guess what? You realize this who them loving at the workplace? We. Because their locals don't even want to work. They don't want to work. And we full it up. Immigrants full it up. Right? Notice them have labor shortage. The reason why international students pays that amount is because it helps domestic students to pay less. You know, you're onto something, Mr. Blue. That is like it, what a word there? No, but the government subsidized, but it a put back in the government pocket too. Me get where I say it equal out. So does the international student when we buy food. That is what I'm saying. And not everybody can afford to pay school fee because when you go there as an international, you have to buy a plane ticket, and plane tickets are expensive. Plane ticket expensive one. Traveling on the bus is expensive as well to get the bus passes. Finding food. Food gone up. Rent. Everything gone up. See, just yesterday, Bank of Canada says that there will be a interest rate hike. Everything is just like going like, oh Lord, it's revenue for the country, and as PR citizens, it makes it possible for people who qualify for students to get easy access as well as a reduction of fees. So Natalia says, but I mean, fine, domestic students deserve affordable education, but it doesn't have to be that expensive for international students. That's what I'm saying. Them just know them have in our weak spot. Exactly. Because they know that we want a better life. Them know say if them tell with 10 grand for the tuition, we're just gonna have to pay it. They know that. Them know it's a money making thing for them because it doesn't have to be that expensive. At this point, me say, like, look here. Don't just get me upset. But it's true. It's true, and I agree with all of you guys. Wait, let me read this real quick. The international student fee actually is using for welfare for locals. Yes, it is true. I did a research in my studies, and that was the conclusion. Wow. We are the money cow. It doesn't need to be that much, Erica. It doesn't. That's how it goes in most countries when you go there as an international student. All right, so Instagram is telling me I have 1 minute and something left. So I'm so sorry, guys. Most of the colleges have 90% of international students. So what space we take up? Oh my god, it's so long that I haven't done a live that I didn't know that Instagram went back to the 60 minutes thing. I thought they still had the 4-hour live, but they're saying that I have 1 minute left. So I'm good. Most of the colleges have 90% of international students. So what space we take up? A lot of them don't even want to go to school. Exactly. That's a valid point. At least when you come as a student, you only wait 2 years. Yes, that's true. If you studied for 2 years, you get half of it. Alright guys, so I have 54 seconds remaining. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. I really appreciate the support, and I'm glad that I could have been of assistance to you guys. So for all those who are here, let your friends know. Anybody that you think would be interested in next month, come next month, the last Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll be here doing another Q&A, and we can follow up on things that was said during this live. Come with your questions, come with your discussions, and we'll be here to talk about it. Come with your approvals and stuff, right? So, bye guys. Remember, God is love, and do not put fear in the driving seat. Put God in the driving seat. All right, guys. Trust God. Later, guys.